Well, we certainly have an entertaining day today. We've got conversations about one of the best performing, if not the best performing coin over the last month. And it's not just hot air. We're going to be talking about this coin, which I've made fun of in the past on past episodes and past videos. But we're going to talk about its rise, its fall, and then back to where it's rising again. I'm also going to talk about the economic news that came out yesterday that was wildly better than expectations. And yet the market did not react in kind, even though good news is certainly on the way as a relief rally eventually. So we're going to talk about all these things. And with that, please know that every single day in crypto is an adventure. And join the show, hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all those things. I'd greatly appreciate. With that, let's get right into it. So first, we're going to talk about the economic data that came out yesterday before I ruin any journalistic integrity that I might have had before. Not that I'm a journalist. I really don't think of myself as such. So look, yesterday, initial jobless claims came out as expected. Okay, no surprise there. The big news was in the CPI. The CPI data, which is a measurement of a basket of goods to see how much they cost for the consumer, and it basically is a measurement of inflation. Well, that went down. And actually, prices retreated by 0.1%. And the expectation was 0.1%. Now, that doesn't sound like a big difference, but what this means is that the inflation target of 2% is rapidly approaching. So we're at 2.4% CPI year over year. And this is a measurement that is very strongly looked at by the Fed when they make their rate hike decisions. Now, today we have producer price index, PPI, or the cost to make a certain basket of goods by the producer, and we're expecting a 0.2%. Now, if this number also comes in lower, which I don't know that it will or won't, that could also help sway the Fed in lowering the rates, increasing liquidity, and basically helping out the markets. Remember, the Fed does not care about your stock or crypto portfolios. They care about inflation because inflation eats away at your dollar's value. Now, one of the main reasons I think that the CPI came in lower, and I think the PPI could come in lower than expected, but I'm not a major economist, at least, is this right here, the price of oil. Price of oil is $60 a barrel right now. It was $86 a barrel a year ago. So a significant decrease in the cost of oil, which is in everything that's produced, goods, services, deliveries, going to pick it up, going to sell it, going to buy it, all these things. But what impact did this have on crypto yesterday? Now, this is fascinating. Here's the line when that report came out, the PPI or the CPI came out. The market actually, this is Bitcoin, went down. And it didn't just go down a little bit. I mean, that's a significant drop down. I mean, we're talking about, 4 or 5%. Market went down. So it was really, yesterday, the crypto could be seen coupled to the market. And a lot of turmoil with the tariff talk and Russia imposing more tariffs, the tariff trade war that's going on between our nation and China. I shouldn't have said Russia. It's China. And it's China. But, this is kind of the intention. I don't want to get too deep in the politics today or the economics, but China is getting isolated from the rest of the world. If 75 countries want to come to the table to do deals with us, China's going to be forced at some point to do it. Don't know when that's going to happen. Don't know how they're going to escalate it. But that is the turmoil and the X factor right now. But really, amongst all of this turmoil and chaos, who is the winner? Which crypto has done the best during all of this chaos? And it's really unfortunate for me to say this because I've made fun of this coin many, many times on my show before. But FartCoin, Jesus, there, I said it. FartCoin is crushing it. It is just pumping out hot air. And it's funny because this FartCoin, I did a little, bunch of research on it. It's got a market cap of almost $900 million, almost $1 billion. And it's gone up 263% in the last month. Had you just traded your Bitcoin for FartCoin, a month ago, you would be crushing it. Bitcoin, I don't even see it on this map. It is somewhere on here, but it's nowhere near 263%. Now, I am certainly not telling everyone to go out and buy FartCoin. Please don't do that. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I am just talking about the elephant in the room, which is FartCoin. It is crushing right now. And, I looked around, their socials is not, this is their X account, only 69,000 followers. So we're not talking about a huge, huge social following for a meme coin or that doesn't even have a cool logo. I mean, I don't even know what that says. FartCoin. And look, this is actually been pumping all day long. At its high, it went to about $2.62. We're down here at 88 cents. I mean, we're still, 66% off the high. But the coin would have to go up quite a bit to get there. Hey, it's been there before. Why can't it go back? Well, why can't my Solana go back to 260? I'd rather that happen than this go to $2.60. But look at the rise it's had. Epic proportion rise. You've had the coin went from, we were down here at 38 cents, down here at 22 cents. And as soon as the news of the tariffs broke, it went up, let's see, what is that? It went up 35%, well outperforming the rest of the market. And had you bought down here, you'd be up 4x from the bottom, just about. Now, unfortunately, I do own FartCoin only because I have it in a trading bot because it is so volatile. I have it in a Pionex trading bot that I'll show you in a second. And this is crazy because it's been trading at a very high rate. I don't have a lot of money in there, to be very fair, but let me show you what this looks like. So I'm on Pionex US, and for those of you who don't know Pionex, it's an exchange, but they also have bots that you can use. Basically, you don't have to pay for them, but you do pay a fee while using them. If it makes a profit, it takes some out in fees. If you have any interest in joining Pionex, and this isn't financial advice, they do have some incentives to do so. I'll have a link down below if you're interested. But look, here's my FartCoin. Now, I put in $642. Like I said, not a huge investment. And then I guess there's so much volatility and the amount of return was so great on this grid trading bot, I threw some money in. This was about 70 days ago. Well, since then, it's cratered, okay? It went down, as you can see. It went down, down, down. But this whole time, because it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, I made about $40 in arbitrage. Now, this says it's down 113. That's because I've released this profit and put it in other bots like I typically do with these things. And so I'm really only down about 70, what is that, $70. And it is, if that closes the gap, that gets less and less. But it doesn't matter. I can be down $113, but I can make $200 in arbitrage and be positive. Now, that's happened sometimes. Sometimes if it had closed down here, I would have lost a lot more. But because it came back up. Now, a lot of these bots, I have the same thing going on. I have some positives in this Bitcoin bot. I've got an XRP USD bot that's been positive. Actually, it's a lot more positive than that. I've made $526 in arbitrage that I've taken out and created other bots with. And it says 7.99 because the actual coin is 7.99 in profit, whereas I've actually made $526 in this one off a $2,000 investment. So I'm up about 27% in this XRP bot. If XRP goes higher, which I think it very well could when we're done with all this tariff talk, they're going to see this profitability just go through the roof because I do hold some within this and it buys on the way up and sells on the way down. Buys up, sells down. It's not a martingale DCA bot. It's a grid trading bot. So these bots have done pretty well for me. I mean, some of them I've lost money in, but this FartCoin, I'm down about $70. But I have made money in arbitrage, about 6% over the last 2 months, which is 3%. What is that? Average about 36% a year. That's not terrible, or 32.66. That's not a terrible return. And if the coin actually appreciates and goes up, well, then it will sell all the coins when it hits $2.18 or $2.11 according to this grid. I will be completely out of the FartCoin, my emotions taken out of it, and I will have made money along the way on the ups and downs. So this is why I like trading bots, is because I am not as capable of keeping my emotions in check sometimes and keeping my fear and greed out of the way. And these bots take that out of it. Now, I use the Pionex bot. I use EasyBot. There's links down below to each. Each of them has their advantages and disadvantages. I really love the EasyBot, but this Pionex bot has been very good to me over the years. So this is what I'm doing. I thought I'd share my journey with you. But FartCoin, I mean, this is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But if it's going up and people are buying it, how do you capitalize on it without unlimited risk? I mean, all this stuff is very, very risky. But that's why I like the bots, is because you set a parameter of which you want to buy and sell within. And once it goes over a certain amount, you'll be completely out if you set the parameters right. Or you can copy trade people on Pionex to see what they're doing and copy their bots. Either way, it limits your upside and limits your downside, but it puts you in a strategy that's planned out, that you don't have to use your own emotions when trading, which is very, very good. The bots take the emotion out of it, which is what I like, because sometimes I can get a little optimistic. Not going to lie. That's how I am. It's human nature to be optimistic. Some people are better at controlling it than others. And, with FartCoin, when it's going up and up and up, maybe it's reached its peak. Maybe it just loses value from here because it really has zero utility. There's a billion FartCoin out there. There will only be a billion FartCoin. But just the name alone will prevent it from doing anything major other than being a meme coin for you and I to mess around with, possibly lose some money in, or make some gains. I'm sure FartCoin has made millionaires. I'm certainly not going to be one of them. That being said, I hope you got some value out of this today. And as FartCoin says, hot air rises. So good luck with that. That's all I got. I'll see you next time.